Hi, my name is Glyn Davies. We're in Mount Martha, where my studio is. I'm essentially a drawer, printmaker and painter. Originally trained as a sculptor in the UK, moved to Australia in 1990, fell in love, met an Australian, came here. Music's been a massive part of my life from childhood. My mum played the guitar, played it quite well, and my son now is a musician, so there's always music in my studio whenever I'm working. The world's a dead place without it, and the more variety of music there is, the better, as far as I'm concerned. The body of work that I've been working on over the last 3 or 4 years is really to do with architecture and the loss of decoration in architecture. A lot of new buildings are without any kind of decoration whatsoever, and I think we're in danger of losing that. So these paintings are really a comment on that, and the prints as well. The main inspiration for just about everything I do is Romanesque and Gothic sculpture. I studied it at length at university a while back, and so that link between decoration and function is so paramount in all those buildings. It's always started with drawing, with mark making. There's a core of an idea which is kind of bubbling away in my mind, and there's too many of them bubbling away, so you have to kind of sift through what's kind of grabbing, and occasionally something will grab me. And then I'll work on some rough sketches, and the poem will usually occur at the same time as those sketches. I'll start writing at the same time, and then I'll work through to more detailed sketches and drawings, and then I'll move into a painting and prints. There is room for error, like I think it was Jackson Pollock, I'm not sure, who said you should always entertain the accident. So if something nice happens and things, then I'll entertain that accident and include that. But basically there's a very structured process once we've gone from the sketches. When I first started out, I was a fully fledged abstract artist. There was very little narrative or figuration in any of my works at all. And I became very dissatisfied with that. After a long while, I felt all I was doing was arranging shapes, and I couldn't find context to the artworks. And I want narrative in my paintings and my prints. I wanted narrative in my sculpture as well. And so I did make a move away from abstraction. I wanted to go through to more have a particular subject matter and work towards that. My most recent painting is Narcissus Just Before the Fall. The story of Narcissus was that, he was in love with himself, and he looked into the water and fell in love with himself and his reflection, and he was so engaged with it he fell in and drowned. A comment on vanity, I suppose, but when you think of the selfie generation, it's as new today as it was all those thousands of years ago. I think if you working from here, it naturally is your style, it's who you are, it's what you are. I never want to lose sight of the subject, the content that made me got my juices going in the first place. Technically, I know I can get there, so it's not losing sight of what makes your heart pump. I love this book. This is one of my Bibles. What's really great about it is it's not photographs, but it's actually just paintings of flowers, and all these flowers have particular meanings. In the text next is the meaning of the flower. So all the leaves and flowers in my paintings have a particular meaning. So if I do a painting that involves architecture from, say, the 12th century, then the flowers around it are from that period, and they're there for a particular meaning. We've got 2 kids growing up in today's world, and they were growing up very much in the digital world, and I was very much in the analog world. And I thought, gee, I'm going to get left behind here if I don't keep an eye on this. So I started doing courses and learning things, and gradually got better and better at it. And I've done lithography, I've done etching, and love that. But I sort of fell in love with the process of making digital pictures, and then it was a question later on of actually linking the two together. How do I link my paintings, my poetry, my drawings? I want it to all feel as one, so I've spent a long time making the images look as close to the paintings and vice versa, because to me digital artwork is just another way of making pictures.